Fucking UVTV, motherfucker. I'm here to kick spiritual ass and do this for my people. On God. Then niggas feather me. Yeah, and today I'm gonna be talking about rebirth, coming out of soul sleep, and the keys towards real salvation and liberation. So this is low key like an updated version of what I was talking about when it comes to reincarnation and stuff like that, but just present it more updated in a, you know what I'm saying, like a better way of articulating it based upon that outlook. Now, rebirth just in general is really just you preventing your own destruction and avoiding spiritual evaporation. That's really all it is. Replace the word spirit with space and look at that as the overall space, and your individual space is just your soul. And then that's it. So it's based upon your individual, you know what I'm saying? It's based upon you being a creator, not the creation, and then you creating your own state of existence, your own state of being for the most part. Okay, based upon that state, that's like a condition. So based upon that state, okay, there's cities in towns and villages and stuff like that within that state. Based upon that, that the different civilizations and within that society and stuff like that, okay, it's filled with a whole bunch of different people and animals and stuff like that. So it's you understanding your people, men and women, your masculine and your feminine. You know what I'm saying? Your thoughts and feelings for the most part, to make it simple, and your animals. So from them being different animals, like the zodiac wheel and stuff like that, right? That's like you playing out different behaviors, animals, characteristics, to make that really simple. And then you're gonna take your uncivilized, wild, barbaric, you know what I'm saying, undomesticated, beastly, animalistic characteristics and stuff like that, like your lower natures, and you turn them into higher natures. Look at that as it becoming men, it becoming an adult, it becoming more mature and stuff like that, so it can get out of its beastly, undomesticated, wild natures and stuff like that. This is like, you know what I'm saying, like the same way how you have like a wild animal, and then you're able to make that wild animal your pet. You was able to domesticate it. You was able to actually make it listen and it being controlled, so it don't just act out of nature. You know what I'm saying? Not like act out of nature, but like so it don't act all wild. It don't act all over the place and stuff like that. It don't act fucking crazy. Is able to have that self-control type of energy. But it's like you doing that with yourself, the same way how you have that when a wild stray dog or whatever, or you seeing an animal in the wild and then they get put into a zoo, and then they're going to listen to their trainer because it's an animal trainer. But you had to do that from an internal scale, because how humans are, right? We're mammals and we're a type of animal, but from us being man and us having that comprehension level to where it's more than an animal, that's how we can train animals and not the other way around. And us being stronger than them when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, us as human beings or whatever, but it's just you being in a humanistic state of being and you being a human vessel, and then you went through enough experiences to handle being a human vessel, and then we're trying to make vessels higher than mankind or whatever and stuff like that. Not know, oh, we trying to listen to the man in the sky, monotheism type of mind state or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, some Abrahamic God, a person who's trying to play out the position to make them, you know what I'm saying, like to make like some man-made God or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like anything dealing with like, oh, I'm trying to make man God or whatever, or like a man-made God, is never going to be no thing like that. God is just all possibilities. It's never going to be a thing like that. God is just all of creation, all of existence, the universe. So it's like an adjective, like not like a noun acting on itself. It's we make it what that is, just in general. And then, you know what I'm saying, like that's it. So it's all of us together leading into that. Not no thing where you can make some man-made type of thing, and then AI, artificial intelligence or whatever, robots and all that type of stuff going to take over the world, or men trying to take over the world and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And not no thing where it's like some God in the sky, man in the sky or whatever, trying to dictate your every move because of this, that, and the third. If you able to be a creator, if you able to observe, what make you think things beyond you can observe what you doing? Okay, look at that as I have my own way of thinking. You have your own way of thinking. If you're watching this video, okay, you're something beyond just me. So you able to observe what I'm doing. So it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not no thing where it's like some all-seeing odd concept where you're going to be able to see everything like some Illuminati shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that let you know the actual starting points of why someone would even make something like that. Is someone trying to be like God or try to have power control of how they go about stuff. And then they feel like, oh, if I can control a government, if I can control society, if I can control the world, even though it ain't really controlling the world, but if I can control the world, I can make the world go the way I envision it in my mind and stuff like that. You're going to end up going to hell because you end up being in other people's business instead of you having your own business and your own creativity and you being your own space instead of trying to worry about everyone else's space, especially people who ain't your people and stuff like that. It's like you trying to control strangers type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like it go deep. Like y'all be trying to have some type of law system and stuff like that, but y'all be going against godly laws every day, and that's really a whole different thing. That's really a whole different thing. But yeah, on God, going against godly laws and like universal laws. I'm looking for my glasses, but just in general, right? When it comes to rebirth, reincarnation, coming out of soul sleep, real salvation and liberation and stuff like that. Not no Christ, Christian, God, or whatever deity, because y'all be looking at God like a deity when God ain't a deity. But in general, when it comes to that real salvation and liberation, so all the way down to how motherfuckers look at slavery, oh, they want their respiration, their liberation and stuff like that. And then even when it comes to salvation, oh, the Christian concept of salvation, but they make y'all go through Jesus Christ or whatever, aka some Jesuit trying to play out that characteristic of what that is, and it leads back to what I was just talking about, that man in the sky concept or whatever. It's just man trying to be the atmosphere, be the world and stuff like that, when we see humans aren't the only thing in the world and stuff like that. So it's like, bro, like it go deep, but like just in general, rebirth is just new birth. So new abilities. So putting yourself in a new space. So from you having that energy of putting yourself into a new space is going to create new observations, new experiences, and putting yourself in a new state of being or condition or a new state of existence. So you add it on to your existence, and then all possibilities is all of existence, aka the universe. So you able to make yourself a part of the world in some way. That's all that really is when it comes to rebirth. But you being able to revitalize that, you giving life to that, you putting yourself into a new space. So just in general, all the way down to reincarnation, even though I'm going to talk about that too, right? You just have to let go of the external world. You have to let go of what you experience in the body, the flesh, the physical, the material world on earth and all that type stuff. Earth is just a platform to create these things for the most part. It's you acting that out in the physical. We're in the death realm. We're in the twilight zone. We're in the fallen realm or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So the same way how y'all talk about the fallen angels or whatever. Okay, we're in the fallen angle realm. We was in the high angle. We was a spirit, and then we became a fallen angel, a fallen angle. Okay, what's autumn fall time? That's something coming to its peak of maturity. Now starting to become temporary. It's going to start to die off and deteriorate or whatever. The same way how the leaves deteriorate and change colors and stuff like that. So we change colors. We change light spectrums. We change hues. We change mentalities. We change behaviors just in general. But those things, those characteristics, those mannerisms, those behaviors, they're going to be able to come and go based upon the circumstance and situation you in. And then we always trying to create new experiences. So you always going to have some new type of light spectrum, some new type of thought and feeling, some new type of emotion, if I want to make that simple. So from us having those new behaviors and characteristics and mannerisms and stuff like that, we're going to be added on to those things and then draining away from what we just added on to. So expansion, contraction, we're going to create it, and it's going to serve its purpose for that time, aka it's going to end up dying out, deteriorating, or it gets drained away, and then we're going to end up creating more, and it's just going to add on to what we already done did. So from you letting go of the external world, you letting go of the physical, and then also you letting go of certain thoughts and feelings, and that's just your light body. That's your first body. And then your second body is just the flesh. Once you let go of certain mentalities, thoughts and feelings of what you thought something was going to be, that's like that expectation type of energy. So based upon that expectation type of energy, you start to have low expectations, because you being that expectation, you're going to end up expecting certain things. And then once you start to get, like, once you end up not getting what you expected, you start thinking more in that, oh, damn, I'm not getting what I deserve. I was anticipating this, but it didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen based upon me expecting it in a certain way, when life don't work about that. Life is all about change. So it's not going to always go in your favor. So it's not the universe working for you or against you. It's just working through you. Sometimes it work for you. Sometimes it work against you. And to be in that perspective of it working more in your favor, even though it's not always going to go in your favor, but upping it on a higher percentage scale, right? You have to understand that mechanism. Oh, it's not always going to go in my favor. It's sometimes, because you know what I'm saying? If it's something universal, it's not something that's self-serving. It's not just about you. So it's something beyond just yourself. So sometimes, right, they can't, like, the whole universe ain't going to be in the palm of your hand. It's not always going to be catered to what you want. But the only way for you to get what you desire, or feel like you getting what you deserve, or you getting what you know, you getting what you want, you have to understand this. You're not always going to get what you want in general. So you're not always going to get what you want, and it's not always going to come in the way you expect it. So it's always some expected, unexpected type of energy. Cliche as fuck, but it really is like that though. Once you actually start to actualize these things in life, you expect the unexpected. So it's about the frequent ability for you being able to do it regardless of the time period and stuff like that. You always able to put yourself in that space where you're able to create, even if you're in front of a million people or whatever. You always are able to put yourself in a mentality or a space, a state of being or whatever and stuff like that, to where you're able to just frequently be able to create, and it don't matter if it's going for you or against you, you're going to be able to adapt and pivot regardless of what the fuck is going on. And that's really spiritual. You know what I'm saying? So based upon you being a spirit and a human vessel right now, right? You being a spirit and you going through these different experiences and you going through the human experience, even though it's not really you going through the human experience, you just utilizing a human vessel. Because some people who are spirits, yeah, they're here to have the human experience because they probably never experienced being a human, or they just here and they ain't human, but they're just utilizing the human vessel because that's the highest conscious, subconscious aware vessel you could take at the moment before we try to update our consciousness or whatever to make it so we can take bodies higher than this one. You know what I'm saying? Stronger than this one for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So just in general, like it's the same way how y'all look at, oh, humans able to conquer animals, so animals aren't as strong or they're weak because we able to make them as cattle and food and resources and stuff like that. Okay, you could look at, that's how the atmosphere look at humans. The atmosphere look at humans because we all up in the atmosphere. We all a part of the world. We all a part of nature or whatever, right? You can look at that as, that's how the atmosphere or Mother Nature or whatever, that's how the sun and the moon, that's how the sun and the moon will look at us, because y'all look at that as the sky, the heavenly body, right? Okay, that's how the heavens look at humans. They just a part of hell walking on earth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not to say earth is hell, it's us making heaven on earth. You know what I'm saying? But that's like, if these things are sentient or whatever, right? That's low key how they would look at us. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wanted to make that like super simple, like the same way how y'all look at, oh, okay, we able to manipulate animals and stuff like that. Okay, ain't the atmosphere manipulating humans and stuff like that? In that sense, I'm not even trying to say it like, oh, that's what the sun and the moon actually thinking in reality or whatever and stuff like that, because I don't want motherfuckers to get spooked out and make motherfuckers think I'm out my mind. It's just when you start to look at it from that perspective, it's like, oh, that's how the heavenly plane will look at humans and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like humans are trying to become like the heavenly plane, and then animals are trying to become like a human. So that's, you know what I'm saying? It's like us looking at the atmosphere as God, and then animals looking at us as God. We teach them how to get out their lower states of being, and then we look at the atmosphere as how to get out our lower state of being or whatever and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something beyond just us. It's beyond some mankind, the same way how animals look at humans as, oh, this is something beyond just some animalistic characteristic mind state. So the same way how a human can just not give a fuck about an animal, it's the same way how the atmosphere or the sun and the moon, based upon its mechanism, its transition, and it's living its life regardless, right? That's like the atmosphere or the sun and the moon, whatever, not giving a fuck about us. It's gonna do what it's gonna do anyway. You ain't gonna stop the sun and the moon go through its night, daytime. You ain't gonna stop it from going through an eclipse, the moon phases or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna stop that. It's like it's gonna do what it's gonna do anyway. The same way how a human is gonna do what it's gonna do, even if it didn't interact with another animal. And the same way how an animal is gonna do what it's gonna do, regardless if it interacted with an insect or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to explain it on like the broadest scale, because it get real spiritual the minute I start talking like this. But like, yeah, it's like the overall space. Like it's something beyond just yourself. So just in general, right? Anything that's new is something that's fresh or up to date and recent. It's more open space for the most part. If it's a new space, it's open space until someone try to take it over and it get like gentrified, or everyone like start being a part of that space, and then now it's old and outdated because it already got fulfilled in that pocket. So now we got to make new pockets. We have to make new things to fulfill, so to speak. So that's you going through new birth, just in general. You gaining new abilities, and then based upon you gaining new abilities, you're going to try to fulfill that open space based upon that ability that you got. So you trying to see how far you can take that ability for the most part. So that's when it leads to things like reincarnation. Reincarnation is just the passing of the soul at death into another body, either human or animal. And human represents anything being human. It just represents kindness, compassion, and like sympathy, right? And based upon human nature, because I'm gonna be politically correct, right? Based upon how y'all be looking at human nature and stuff like that, right? That's how y'all keep coming back as humans, because y'all be trying to be too friendly. Y'all be trying to be too compassionate. Y'all be trying to be too overly sympathizing. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking like a simp. Like, that's why y'all keep coming back as humans, because y'all can't let go of that humanistic mind state, of that human nature, of that human feeling and emotion. You can't get out your feelings about being human and stuff like that. The same way how an animal is going to be wild and beastly and undomesticated and stuff like that. So it's like, if you come back as an animal, it means you're being too wild, beastly, or undomesticated about something. If you come back as a human, you're being too friendly, being too kind, being too overly sympathizing and compassionate about something. I'm not even trying to say that compassion and sympathy is wrong. I'm just saying that's what it leads to, of why you keep coming back as that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to expand beyond. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how to broaden your horizons because of that. You don't know how to make your life better and help yourself from you being a spirit, and you creating a better circumstance so you can have more awareness and stuff like that. You keep getting attracted by a bad bitch. You keep getting attracted by the humanistic mind states and the physical pleasures of what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when it comes to mankind, we're here to be one of a kind. That's a better way to go about it. That's a better way to get out of it. So from us being humans or whatever, right, we try to express that kindness, that friendliness. No, we're here to be one of a kind. So based upon you being one of a kind, you're going to have your one of a kind way of how you want to display that. So it's not always going to be based upon sympathy or whatever. It's always going to be based upon that compassion, or look at that as compact passion, or at least the way how I like to look at it. Compassion is just compact passion. So us doing something together, teamwork make the dream work, of us making our passions compact. So, you know what I'm saying? We all trying to help each other achieve our goals and dreams or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like our aspirations. So that compact passion, but it's not always based upon that love and light concept. It's just based upon we all working together as a unit to produce something as mankind and stuff like that collectively, and we ain't trying to do it based upon self-sabotaging or doing something based upon degenerate reasons or doing something based upon a monetary gain. That's why it's monetary. It's not eternal, it's not everlasting, and it's not that important. It's like something like petty. You know what I'm saying? It's like some little shit. It's not no grand shit for the most part. So from you focusing on the little shit too much, that's why you never put yourself in a better position. And then it's really that simple. So like, reincarnation is just putting yourself back in the driver's seat of the car. That's, you know what I'm saying? Reincarnation. You're putting yourself back in the driver's seat of the car to go all across your nation, to make your nation grow and expand. So like I was saying before, look at like a nation, like a country, and then that country got a whole bunch of different states of beings, and those take up different civilizations, societies, cities, and states. I mean, cities and towns and stuff like that. Those cities and towns and civilizations and those things, when it comes to making that society, is filled with men and women and animals and stuff like that. So based upon you taking care of the men and women, the thoughts and feelings, and you taking care of your animalistic natures or whatever, and you actually try to tame them, domesticate them so they can be more controlled, not all over the place and buck wild and stuff like that. That's how you can make a better functioning, running ecosystem and environment or whatever, to make it so it leads to you being able to lead the nations, to make your nation grow. And then that's it. But it's like an internal type of energy that leads to how we actually make societies in real life and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the simplest way to put it. So yeah, it just leads to spiritual regeneration, restoration, and reviving. So you're creating a new space. Look at the space as an awareness, right? Because your spirit is your space. You're creating a new space awareness through actively adding, which is just expanding it through transformation, change, or adaptation by letting go of old awarenesses, which become comfort zones, which leads to you having a new outlook, attention span, or interest into something which was old / outdated to you. So it's basically like a been there, done that type of energy, or you lack awareness in to create new sensibilities, which is just common sense. So from you having new stimuli, new sensibilities, it just leads to common sense, the common mentality, but you're added on to that sensibilities. You're able to pick it up. So it's the same way how you play Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever and stuff like that. And then you play at a high sensitivity and stuff like that. You're moving quick, you're moving fast. It just means you're able to pick up on something fast. You sensitive to the senses, and then you end up becoming like a spiritual sensor. You're able to pick up on stuff fast. And that's it. And based upon you picking up on something fast, it's just going to lead to you gaining more awareness about your abilities and what you're actually capable of doing, so you can keep on going with that, so you can be more productive and creative. So all of that, yeah, all that is just you reviving, you restoring, you regenerating your spirit by trying to be a part of existence. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to be an entity, not you trying to be a deity, right? Because anything that's a deity, okay, that's like you deify something, right? So it's like idol worship. So based upon it being idol worship, you end up turning your spaceship into a warship, and you end up going to war for something outside yourself, especially if it's something not that you and your people created or whatever. So you have to understand your spaceship and add on to that spaceship, or like the car example that I was saying before, right? And you just add it onto your car. It's like a pit my ride type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to add on to your car. You're trying to add on to your abilities. You're trying to add on to what you're observing. You're trying to add on to your experiences and stuff like that, so you have more experience, so you have more knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is just knowledge. So it's infinite when it comes to the things that you can know. And then wisdom is just you learning based upon what you already know. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we already know what we doing. We already know what we doing. The only thing we don't know is just what someone else created based upon what they experience and what they're trying to do for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Because you have your own mind and other people have their own mind. You can't read their mind. So you know what I'm saying? It's really just that. It's like a solo journey. Like only you going through that. That's why it's just your soul. It's solo. Like only you doing that to yourself. So if you end up spiritually evaporating and stuff like that, nigga, you did that to yourself because you stopped believing in yourself and your own abilities. And then that's really it. So you going through a spiritual awakening is just you becoming aware or staying woke subconsciously and consciously, not you staying woke in the conscious realm or the physical or some type of social justice warrior type of mind state or whatever and stuff like that. That's how y'all get confused. That's why when it comes to motherfuckers be like, oh yeah, you got to stay woke and stuff like that. Y'all only talking about ethics. Y'all only talking about some racial shit. Y'all only talking about things of the conscious realm, things that you can see externally, not the internal realm. You ain't talking about that. And then they try to utilize things based upon the internal realm, and then it always leads back to the physical and stuff like that. Y'all just lost. Y'all just working backwards. Yeah. So it just leads to y'all getting lost into divination, but you never understand your own divine nature. You never learn how to be divine. You know what I'm saying? Like you just get lost into another divination. The same way how like a good example is like tarot cards or like astrology and stuff like that. Not to say this bad, because I'll talk about the same thing, but it's kind of like y'all get lost instead of y'all trying to create y'all own astrology or y'all own outlook about astrology, or y'all utilizing tarot cards instead of you making your own tarot cards, not you depending on a whole bunch of different Roman god and goddesses on the tarot cards and stuff like that they created so they can control how y'all look at tarot and witchcraft and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really that simple. It's really that simple. So you understanding your own divine nature is like you trying to create your own heavenly space. You know what I'm saying? Because all these words kind of co-align with each other and stuff like that. So it's like you being a part of the heavens, the sky, the atmosphere. The atmosphere is just a word at most. So from you trying to create your own world, you just understand your own divine nature based upon what you created, not getting lost into someone else's mind and someone else's creations and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's like you being in someone else's nutsack. You end up being one of their baby seeds or whatever and stuff like that. And then you wouldn't exist without them when it should be, no, I wouldn't exist without me. And then you actually try to put yourself in that scenario and stuff like that. So the same way how you'll look at like an icon or like an idol or like a role model that influenced you or inspired you and stuff like that. Okay, you be a walking emanation. You be a walking star. You be a walking cross. You be the walking example of what that is, so you can inspire other motherfuckers to want to do it. And then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like do it in their own way though. Don't make them lost into idol worship. Like, oh yeah, you can only do it based upon what I say and my blueprint and stuff like that. No, make it so they can have their own blueprint. They can have their own way. Each one teach one type of energies and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with being inspired, but what are you going to do with that inspiration? Are you going to keep being inspired by other motherfuckers and then you never actually put yourself in that position to be the example and things of that nature? And then even if you are the example, the only reason you're the example is because of the blueprint of what they did and you don't know how to act without your inspirations or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to put yourself in that solo spirit mentality. Like, no, this is something you're doing. Otherwise, your ass wouldn't have your own mind and you wouldn't be in existence and your ass wouldn't be here. We already know what the fuck we doing. Like, you're here to do that, to keep on creating more. You're just planning it out through the physical. You know what I'm saying? Like, the spirit is no shape and form. It's something incorporeal, and then we make it corporeal. Like, we make it material. It's something that's immaterial, and then we make a shape and form and make a material. Thoughts and feelings are the first bodies, the first thought forms and stuff like that. It's your first shaping form, and then based upon that first shaping form, it creates the physical in your organs because you're an organism, and then you're gonna try to organize the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what organization is. You're organizing your nation, your different organs and stuff like that to make it so you can keep that shit running, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not no thing the other way around where you rely on CVS and pharmaceuticals and Walgreens and stuff like that to fix all your problems. No, it's something you're naturally already doing to yourself. So if you don't care about your well-being, you don't care about your health, which leads to you not caring about your body. Like, it's like bro, like y'all be trying to get lost in the other way around based upon things of the external world and different science and technology to make people in different comfort zones where you're always trying to create different comfort zones, but you have to get out your comfort zone to make a new comfort zone to make it make sense. So you need to have new experiences so you have more to talk about, so you have other outlooks, so you can add on to your world, not get lost into other people's worlds based upon the scientific theory or the methodology. God gonna show you it's not just about your method and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to reframe your method in that shit and that's it. So it's not about what you observing or what you studying. It's how you studying it and how you observing it, and then that's it. You can't rely on no methodology, scientific method all the time and stuff like that. God gonna show you stop relying on that method. You know what I'm saying? Then it's gonna lead to some degenerate type of shit. You just want to control everything. You just want it to go in your favor, go in your way all the time and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to switch up your method, and then that's it. It's like you trying to tell a joke and then you keep saying the same joke over and over. Eventually they get old and outdated. That's like you making a song, you blew it from a song, and then you think, okay, I need to keep making more songs like this because this is what people like. And then you get lost into that validation type of energy. And you end up like running out of creativity because you keep on trying to create songs that you feel like people gonna like instead of just making songs that you actually want to listen to for real. And you trying to adapt that. And then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never put yourself in a new space. You keep doing the same thing over and over from you being in a comfort zone, from you staying in that same space. You never learn how to think outside the box or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You didn't learn how to be more masculine. And that's it. So real salvation, liberation, and saving is just you realizing your power as a creator and becoming one and able to make new creations through having faith in yourself first and being able to help others have faith in themselves, which leads to creating a circumstance where you can be self-serving, but also being of service to others who are crippled or not know as much. So it's a balance just in general. Like, it's always the universe working through you. So regardless if it's going in your favor or not, you just going to be able to frequently be able to create. But the only way to add on to that on a higher percentage scale for things that go in your favor, you have to understand that first. Even if you don't got it, right, you still gonna find a way to go get it anyway. It's like that hustler type of mentality, and that's how you can get put into a position to where, oh, you're able to keep or maintain or be in a comfort zone or be really wealthy, have a lot of money, be rich. But you have to be rich in spirit first. Like, you have to understand that. So you gonna get it how you live regardless, and that's how you lead. That's how it leads to you being in a situation where you're in a better circumstance than somebody else on a higher percentage scale, because you have to understand that first. So even if you lose that, you like, man, I'm gonna find a way to go get it again though. You know what I'm saying? Like, which leads to spiritual redemption or grace. So like when it comes to salvation, trying to get God's grace or whatever and stuff like that, this is how you do it. This is the simplest way of how you do it. You learn it from your experiences, which is just wisdom, based upon what you already know, which is just knowledge. Like I was saying before, knowledge is knowledge, and that's you know what I'm saying, that's infinite. That can go on forever and stuff like that. And then those who lack knowledge shall perish. Type of mentality. So hold on. So being able to create a circumstance to keep, maintain, and protect what you have created for yourself, while also producing more spaces or existences or states of beings, or look at it as like new mentalities, new thoughts and feelings, right? New observations, which are everlasting, not monetary. So you bearing high-hanging fruit or making new gold, or like you making new gold, which is just a gold mine. A gold mine, the same way how y'all actually look at gold mines in reality and stuff like that, right, is you just having a gold in mind. So from you being able to bear high-hanging fruit is something that's more juicy, enticing, and everlasting. It's something that monetary. And I already explained that already when it comes to monetary things and degenerate type of stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, things that come and go. And then we see in reality, okay, you can get $1 million, but you could die right now and then you can't take none of that with you. So that lets you know, oh, that's monetary. You know what I'm saying? So if it's monetary, it's only for that short period of time and then it's gonna be gone. The same way when it comes to human existence or being in the physical and stuff like that. Okay, we gonna live, but by the time we get 60 years old and stuff like that, motherfuckers gonna be start dying. So you know what I'm saying? Like you put in that essence and that substance as an importance instead of things that come after the fact.